Today, we're pulling together the absolute best ideas from habit experts like James Clear, Charles Duhigg, and BJ Fogg, and we're putting them into one single master plan. We're going to give you the blueprint you need to become the architect of your own mind. But first, let's get real for a second. We have all been there, right? You decide you're going to eat healthier, you're going to exercise more, you're going to stop mindlessly scrolling, but that old, comfortable bad habit just reels you right back in. It feels like a losing battle, like you're constantly fighting yourself. But what if I told you it was never a fair fight to begin with? Okay, this right here is the big idea that changes everything. The reason those bad habits are so incredibly sticky has nothing to do with you being weak or lacking discipline. Nope, it's because they've successfully hacked the operating system of your brain. And you know what the good news is? Any system that can be hacked can also be re-engineered. You just need the blueprint. And that is exactly what we are going to build together today. We'll start by understanding your brain's autopilot mode, then we'll decode the blueprint of every single habit you have. From there, we'll walk through a super practical 5-step action plan. We'll even figure out what to do when you're under pressure, and we'll end with a simple script you can start using literally the second this is over. So let's dive into our first section. I want you to just think about your morning routine for a second. How many of those things you do, brushing your teeth, making coffee, instantly checking your phone, did you actually consciously decide to do? Or did they just kind of happen? Well, check this out. It's kind of wild when you see the number. A study from Duke University back in 2006 found that more than 40% of the things we do every single day aren't conscious decisions at all. They're habits. That means for almost half of your day, you're not actually in the driver's seat. Your brain's autopilot is. Now, this autopilot, it runs on a very specific and thankfully very predictable script. All of the experts we're looking at agree on this one core mechanism. It's the neurological foundation for every habit you have, whether it's good or bad. We're going to call it the habit loop. At its heart, the habit loop is really just an efficiency tool. See, your brain is always, and I mean always, looking for ways to save energy. And it does this by bundling sequences of actions into automatic routines. It's so effective because it lets our conscious mind just kind of check out and focus on other, newer things. And the whole process breaks down into 3 pretty simple steps. First up, you've got the cue. Think of it as the trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode. This could be anything, a time of day, a place, a feeling, even just the buzz of your phone. That cue kicks off the routine, which is the behavior itself. And finally, there's the reward, the little payoff that tells your brain, hey, that was good. Let's remember this loop for the future. So here's the really crucial part to get. Once that loop of cue, routine, and reward gets locked in, your conscious brain literally checks out. As Charles Duhigg puts it, it stops fully participating. The behavior becomes automatic. Now, that's awesome for good habits, but it's really dangerous for bad ones because they start operating completely below the radar of our conscious control. Okay, so we get the problem, right? The system is running on its own. So how do we fix it? Simple. We become the architect. Here is our combined 5-step master plan for taking back conscious control and completely redesigning your habits. First things first, you can't change what you don't see. This is where a little tool from James Clear called the Habit Scorecard is brilliant. You just write down your daily actions, everything from waking up to going to bed. Then next to each one, you put a plus for positive, a minus for negative, or an equal sign for neutral. And remember, the goal here is absolutely not to judge or shame yourself. It's just to make the unconscious conscious. You're just observing the system as it is right now. Step 2 is a total game changer because as James Clear says, your environment is often way more powerful than your willpower. So instead of fighting temptation, just eliminate it. You want to read more? Put a book on your pillow. Want to stop snacking on junk? Get it out of sight. Make the cues for your good habits super obvious and make the cues for bad ones invisible. A little pro tip here, give each space in your home one job. Your bed is for sleeping, not for scrolling. Step 3 is all about friction. It's about engineering the path of least resistance. And this is where BJ Fogg's tiny habits idea is pure gold. To build a new habit, you have to make it so easy it's almost laughable. Don't commit to a 30-minute workout, commit to just 2 push-ups. And on the flip side, to break a bad habit, you want to increase the friction. Unplug the TV after you use it. Delete the social media app from your phone. Sometimes that tiny bit of extra effort is all it takes to snap you out of that automatic loop. Step 4 is so important because the reward is what makes the habit stick. Bad habits usually give us an instant hit of pleasure. So to even compete, our good habits need an immediate payoff too. A great place to start is to ask yourself, what craving is my bad habit really solving? Are you actually hungry or are you just bored? Then find a better way to get that reward. And you can use this awesome technique called temptation bundling. Just pair something you need to do, like folding laundry, with something you want to do, like listening to your favorite podcast. And finally, we've arrived at the most powerful step of all, shifting your identity. See, most of us set outcome-based goals like, I want to quit smoking. But a much, much more powerful way to think is to focus on your identity. So instead, the goal becomes, I am a non-smoker. See the difference? The first one is a temporary project. The second is a statement about who you are. This little shift in how you see yourself is everything. You're no longer fighting to change, you're just acting in line with who you've decided to be. Okay, so now you have the plan. But what happens when life happens? When you're stressed, you're tired, you're totally overwhelmed? This is an area where our experts have a small but really important difference in how they approach breaking bad habits. So on one hand, you have Charles Duhigg's method, which is all about replacement. You figure out the cue and the reward, you keep them the same, but you consciously swap in a better routine. So if your cue is a 3 p.m. slump, you replace the eat a cookie routine with a walk around the block routine. The clear and fog method, on the other hand, is more about avoidance. Instead of fighting the cue, you just redesign your world so you never see it in the first place. You don't see the cookie, so the whole loop never even gets a chance to start. So, which one's better? Well, think about it. When you're under pressure and your mental energy is drained, trying to use willpower to consciously choose a new routine is incredibly hard. It's like trying to swim upstream. And that's why, especially in those high-stress moments, designing your environment to avoid the temptation altogether is almost always the winning strategy. In fact, James Clear makes this amazing point. He says the most disciplined people aren't actually better at resisting temptation, they're just better at avoiding it. They spend basically 0% of their energy fighting urges because they've built a life where the triggers for their bad habits just don't show up. They let their environment do all the heavy lifting for them. All right, we've covered the theory, we've got the 5-step plan, and we know the strategy for when things get tough. Now it's time to make this real. This is your script for starting today, right now. It's all about laying that first, tiny, but absolutely crucial brick. Here's the whole formula. First, pick one habit that is so small it feels almost silly, like doing just one push-up. Second, you're going to anchor it or attach it to a habit you already have. The formula is simply, after my current habit, I will do my new habit. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will do one push-up. Third, redesign just one single cue in your environment. Put your workout clothes by the door or that book on your pillow. And finally, and please do not skip this, you have to celebrate the tiny win. A simple yes or a little fist pump is enough to tell your brain, hey, that was a good thing we just did. And as you're laying that first little brick, I want you to remember this incredibly powerful idea from James Clear. Every single action you take, no matter how small it seems, is a vote. One push-up is a vote for being a healthy person. Writing just one sentence is a vote for being a writer. Over time, these votes add up, and they slowly but surely builds the proof for your new identity. So, that really leaves us with just one final and most important question. It's not about what you're going to do tomorrow or next month. It's about the single tiny vote you can cast for yourself right now. Who are you voting to become today?
Your mind is more powerful than you think. Subscribe to Blue Mind Theory.